Zotye is a Chinese brand who used to make body panels for Italian cars such as Fiat and Lancia. Since 2005, they started to make their own cars.
Created in 2005, Zotye is famous, or maybe should I say infamous, for making copies. They started to make Daihatsu cars and selling them under their own brand. Although the outside body panels are from Daihatsu, the engine was a 1.3 or 1.5 Mitsubishi. Later, in 2007, they signed a contract with Fiat and started to make Lancia Libra and Fiat Multipla for the Chinese market. Now, Zotye is developing its own model, although the design is heavily inspired from other brands.
And now here we are in 2018 with this car, the Zotye Z700. It's a 5-seater luxury sedan with a 1.8 turbocharged engine. Today I'm going to show you around, so I will show you the external design, the interior, and then after that we'll have a drive test. Since this car is not available for driving, it's an automatic, I will drive the manual transmission one. So first let's have a look at the external design. It was made by some Italian designers and only one word can define it. Very, very classical. So we have the front lights, you have 3 openings for the blinkers. The size of the wheels are huge compared with the size of the car, so they are 18 inches. Under the hood we have a 1.8 liter turbocharged engine made in cooperation with Mitsubishi. So this is a Zotye engine and it develops 180 horsepower. Cannot see much of it, but since it's a luxury car, you are not supposed to look down here. The rear seats are quite spacey and comfy. You have lots of place, lots of space here and up there, and in the middle this can go down. You have a storage compartment here, you have cup holders there, and well, this is not the top of the trim, but here you're supposed to have a screen, a touch screen with the climate control. Here in the center console we have a lighter, opens like so. You have the lighter here, and here yet another storage compartment, a tiny storage compartment, and some climate vents. The rear side feels quite luxurious, so you have some plastic to empty your pockets, and here you also have the dark wood. We have a huge sunroof here, and this roof is made in cooperation with Audi, but on this car this option costs 8,000 yuan, but for Audi it's 30,000 yuan, so quite a small price difference between the two, although it's the same, the exact same sunroof. On the inside we have the same mix of black and silver, but we have some touches of black wood, and here you can see that it's aimed to be a luxury car. You have a clock in the center of the dashboard. The doors feels great without being massive, so everything is black, silver, white stitches, and dark wood. And listen to the noise the door make when they close. It feels very sturdy. The steering wheel is complete and quite sober, nothing fancy here. You have the paddles here and there if you want to drive your car manually.
This dashboard and the whole interior is an exact copy of the Audi A6.
So the car I drive today is slightly different. We saw the business edition, but this one is one level under. It's just the limited edition. So except from that, the wheels are different, and also the front grid. The design is not the same as the one we saw inside, and it's a manual car. So let's see. The seats are adjustable electronically, and you have 3 memories. You can set them, and you have a nice touch of black and silver. The door handle. This car being a luxury car, you don't have to slam your doors shut. You just have to do this, and the door closes by themselves. Quietly, silently. Let's go for a drive test now. This being a manual car, we don't have the pedals, and the gauge cluster is more simple.
I really wanted to demonstrate the functions of the car that was in the dealership, but unfortunately it was out of battery, so we asked the seller to show us, and when I wanted to make a footage, the battery died again. So sorry, no side-by-side comparison of the 2 cars.
One interesting quirk of that car is that when you open the doors, you have lights lighting your feet. So maybe you can see where you put your feet on the pedals if you are afraid to miss the accelerator. So this car being a manual car, you need to press the clutch and press the stop and start. And there we go. What was that? Okay, let's go. The clutch position is a bit high. So let's see how the car feels. So the gearbox actually doesn't feel very good. It's a bit plasticky. But the car is quite responsive. Pressing this button, you can open the screen, and you have all the functions, and you have the proximity sensors on the side view mirrors. So you have an orange light blinking when the car is too close from you. When you change the settings on the climate control, you have the settings appearing on the screen. Black and white, a little bit too classical for my taste. 8-liter turbocharged, developing 180 horsepower, and the car is 1.8 tons, so everything is 1.8 or 18. Now let's see. The car feels smooth, drives well, the steering wheel is quite responsive, the acceleration is okay, and the brakes are also quite sharp. So it's not bad. You have a nice feeling. I got a nice feeling driving this. Much better than the last one we had last week. Now let's try stop the car and let's go for an acceleration test. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! That's not bad. That's really not bad. Already at 100 now. And the brakes are also quite responsive. Feels nice.
So what could be said about that car? Well, it's not ugly, it's not slow, it feels good to drive, and it's literally packed with technology. But it was a commercial failure. It was presented 2 years ago as the Flagship, and less than 30,000 were sold throughout China. It actually failed so hard that this is the last sedan that Zotye plans on making. And they will focus now on SUVs. For Chinese people, when you buy a new car, one thing is important. The bigger, the better. And as I've said before, this brand is famous for copying other brands' designs and technologies. Even in China, this kind of behavior leads to a bad reputation. Sedans are on the decline in China, and SUVs are the kings of the roads.